Dispensation or dispensationalism sounds scary, right? Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure most of you guys have had somebody in your comment section going off their nut about how bad dispensation is, right? And your knee-jerk reaction is, no, I'm not. I'm not. Whatever that is you're accusing me of, no, I'm not that. I don't know what that is. And I really haven't. I haven't known what it is for years because I'm not. It's not something I'm interested in studying. I just want to study the Bible, rather than go off on tangents and find out what I'm being accused of from people I've never heard of. So, what is it? The act of dispensing. So this means giving out. Dispensing means giving. All right. So it's the act of dispensing, giving. Something dispensed, a specific arrangement or system by which something is dispensed. So you give things out differently in different orders. I suppose there's a dispensation between men and women, so that would be different things dispensed. Dispensationalism is a theological framework for interpreting the Bible which maintains that the history is divided into multiple ages called dispensations in which God interacts with his chosen people in different ways. It is often distinguished from covenant theology. These are two competing frameworks of biblical theology that's attempting to explain overall continuity in the Bible. Coining the term dispensationalism has been attributed to Philip, whoever that is. Well, that's not who I got accused of. There's a couple here. Where are they? These two. Where we got? Darby and Schofield. Oh, you're brainwashed by Darby and Schofield. You and your Schofield Bible or whatever. I'm like, well, what's in this Bible? I never read it. What are you accusing me? I don't know, but it's bad. So they can't quote anything from these Bibles, from Darby and Schofield, and because dispensationalism is bad. And you're like, well, why is it bad? So I think it's along the lines of white supremacists hate dispensation, just hate it with a passion, because it's like, I'm not too sure. I know they've got the wrong God for a start, right? Because you got like Arians and modalists, right? So both of them have got the wrong God. Don't know if they're on about. But white supremacists and that sort of don't understand the difference between the two houses, which is House Judah and House Israel. Alright, so the Jews have been blinded for the Gentiles. Until the fullness of the Gentiles comes in, the Jews will not be able to see what's going on. Alright, so, and that's that. God's blinded them. So there's no point in kicking Jews. They're just blinded until we come in, the fullness of the wheat harvest comes in, which is the Gentiles, and all grafted on. Alright, so once all that happens, that dispensation happens, then the Jews will be able to see the true Messiah and blah blah blah. Alright, so I'm already getting yelled at. I can feel like all these, oh, blah blah blah, but that bloodline, this bloodline, blah blah blah. Alright, well, whatever. But this is dispensation, right? So they'll say, oh, that's not in the Bible. It's not in the Bible. Well, there it is. It's in there quite often, actually. Alright, First Corinthians. Yes. For if I do this willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me, what is my reward then? Verily that when I preach the gospel, I may make the gospel of Christ without charge, that I abuse not my power in the gospel. For though I be from all men, yet I have made myself a servant unto all, that I might gain the more. Alright, so you got, saying here another one I found. What's this thing here? Yeah, this is, I've seen where Schofield's in here. C.I. Scofield states, I'm not keen on his Bible. It's NIV. I don't like NIVs, but whatever. So I just thought, well, what's he on about this Scofield? A dispensation is a period of time during which man is tested. Alright, so that sounds like tribulation in respect to his obedience to some specific revelation of the will of God. Three important concepts are implied in this definition: a deposit of divine revelation concerning God's will, embodied what God requires of man as to his conduct. Okay, so yes, you've sort of got to agree with that. If you don't like your conduct, it's God who's got to like your conduct, not you. Man's stewardship of his divine revelation in which he is responsible to obey it. Okay, so we got that. A time period, often called an age, during which this divine revelation is dominant in the testing of man's obedience to God. So yeah, well, the biggest obvious one on that is Old Testament and New Testament. So under the Old Testament, you keep the Sabbaths and all that. Doesn't matter if you fail or whatever, you still got to keep them. That sort of stuff, and follow all the commandments, blah blah blah, do all that sort of thing. And yeah, you had to live that way according to that. You didn't have Jesus fulfilling it all for you. Alright, progressive and connected revelation of God's dealings with man, giving sometimes to the whole race and other times to particular people. Okay, this is where the white supremacists will freak out. They don't like dispensation except if it's between white people and black people. Then they love it. Oh, it's good then. Yeah, that's a good one. Alright. So what do they have here? 7 dispensations. Innocence, conscience, moral responsibility, human government, promise, law, church, kingdom. Alright, so what are the 7 dispensations? Alright, so they're in the Bible. So these people that are screaming at you, dispensation is bad, right? You need to get them down to the nitty gritty of which dispensation they don't like. For a start, you got to show them that dispensation is in the Bible. Now all they have to do is pick which one they don't like, and you'll find it's along the lines of the one where they love. These people will either love their own skin colour, they'll whatever race they are, sort of thing. They're from some sort of bloodline. Blah blah blah. This is the lot that'll be yelling at you, screaming at you, all nasty. They're all mean, by the way, very mean, screaming at you with their no, blah, blah, blah. They will hate the rapture, right? Don't like the rapture at all. Not looking forward to Jesus rocking up, not one bit. All that sort of stuff. They hate all of that. So dispensation to you dispensationalists that hate dispensation is in the Bible. Alright, so tough. if you're going to pick on people about dispensation, tell them which one you don't like specifically. Alright, now straight away I wouldn't even bother with all that sort of stuff. First off, I'd ask you, is Jesus God? Alright, if you mumble and babble and don't say yes, alright, anything else but yes, then I'm pretty sure you're Aryan, and Aryans think Jesus is a creature. He did not exist before creation with the Father. Alright, that's an Aryan. So you have a wrong God, my friend. The next one is they think the Father is pretending to be the Son, coming down, play acting a role, doing a little dance, and yes, I am well pleased with myself, this sort of stuff. So that's modalism, and that one also has the wrong God. So these people have their own agenda. Both these two groups have their own agenda. They love their own skin, their own bloodline, whatever it else. They've got something else they want to try and make God fit with their thingy, with whatever it is. They Black Hebrew Israelites, or Archangel Michael is your God, or anything, whatever it is. They'll make their beliefs that God fit their beliefs. That's basically what it comes down to. They don't want to know who God is. They want God to fit what they know. So yeah, if you can get them straight off on that, just find out which God they got. You won't even have to go to any of this dispensation stuff, because they're already stuffed. They've got no leg to stand on because they're not Christian. They're antichrist. What is the definition of an antichrist? He who denies Jesus came from heaven and put on flesh, right? Or the Son who existed before creation came to earth and put on flesh to die for us. Alright, so that's the definition of an antichrist, someone who denies that. Arians and modalists will deny that. So that's basically it. That's simple. But yeah, that's about the first time I've ever looked into dispensation at any length. And I don't see any harm in it. Dispensation is just giving out differently or treating people different, like man with woman. You treat a woman different than a man. That's the way it goes. It's not like worse or better. It's just different. And dispensation, God's teaching you along the way, so He gives you different trials, and then you finish with that trial, you move on to the next one. Gives you out bit by bit. Doesn't give you more than you can handle. That there is dispensation. Alright, God bless. Hope that helps. Oh.